feed your muscles.
The women do look very relaxed, I have to say. I mean, they've been the same group in the pack. Not a lot of change up.
Very tactical race. One of them is just waiting, or several of them obviously just waiting.
Well, it's not tactical. That's
It's
just
a fast
moving
race.
at 220 pace. They're shifting.
Yeah. It looks tactical because there's so many of them, but they are actually running very strong time right now. And that's exciting because the synergy is the more that you have there at this point in time, then the faster that last 5K is going to be. And they've got some good, again, national class men that are probably trying to hit close to an Olympic trials qualifying time. Anything under 220 they would be very happy with. And so we have these women with great pace setters amongst themselves, and we're going to see them roll that much faster at the end.
Okay, here it comes. Looks like Manuela Schar, but I can't see where exactly she is.
Anybody else?
I think she's made her turn for the finish here.
Is this toward the finish?
Yeah, she's coming into the finish line. She is all by herself. And I don't know that anybody expected that, but Manuela Schar now pushing for the finish line. She's broken. I think Madison de Rosario was the last one, and Tatiana McFadden's way. Yeah,
that's Tatiana.
No. This is Manuela Schar. Manuela Schar for the
What
victory.
a contrast to the men's race. Boy, cruising home. Dominant.
Yes.
Nobody around her.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Madison de Rosario was the last person with her, but she's back. And Manuela Schar for the victory.
Schar.
And that's her first victory here at Chicago as well.
I mean, that Tatiana's 8-year streak just got broken.
Well, and let's remember that Manuela Schar has finished second to Tatiana here, I believe, 4 or 5 times. And so for her to finally push on, have a great finish like this, and by a large margin, second place has not come in yet, and really big victory for her, 141.38 unofficially.
You know, she is absolutely the dominant force now in the sport. I mean, you think she set that world record in Berlin 3 weeks ago, 136.53. Today she's about 5 minutes slower than that. She won Boston last year. She won London, Berlin, New York last year. And she has the world's best time on all conditions course. So she has pretty impressive Manuela Schar, and for her to have put away a field of this caliber by a gap, a big gap, it really underlines the quality of her performance.
Here comes de Rosario. Quite a ways behind. You got to wonder what happened. We hadn't been following the women as
well. She was 4th last year, so this is still a very satisfying result for Rosario. She was the London winner earlier on this year, but Schar operating on a different level altogether today. Boy, you don't see that so often, a gap as big as that.
No, not at all. And I think sometimes when the field is broken like that, then we start looking behind us to see how much of a gap we have. But a great victory for Manuela Schar.
And now we're going to go to Carrie Tollefson. Do you have some news for us, Carrie?
Yeah, for the first time, we have some action going on right out here. Dibaba looks like she's grabbing onto her right hamstring. She's dropped back from the pack a little bit, and you can see her right there rubbing her leg. Looks like something's going on. She still has good form. She's still carrying her arms very high, but that's how she runs. But the one thing that she's done different now, and the one thing that we've seen change in this pack is Dibaba is falling back and grabbing onto that leg.
You know, it's interesting because I talked to Dibaba yesterday, and she said that her fitness and training had not gone quite as well because it's the rainy season in Africa right now, and in particular in Ethiopia. So she said the roads that she is training on are much more muddy than they were earlier in the year when she had done so well, and so that's a real factor for her, and she definitely has something going on with that right leg right now.
That's a great shame, you know, because she won in Tokyo back in February. She set a personal best by 1.5 minutes. She won it by nearly 1.5 minutes. You know, she was truly dominant there. But the one thing that athletes can't do, they can train very, very hard, but sometimes just the fact whether you get injured or not is in the hands of the gods. You know, you can do everything right and an injury will still kick in.
It's too bad, but we still have a strong field there with the women.
Oh, great race developing. Yeah, it's just a shame to see such a great runner. You know, Dibaba was 3rd here in 2014. She was 3rd in 2015. Yeah, holding that right hip. Is
there? I'm assuming continuing to run this race. If there's an injury, you could make it worse.
Well, we're about 17 miles, so there's still a lot of running to go. You got another 7, 8, 9 miles to go. Now, she is off the pack, but she is still within. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can work out a sore spot, and you know you're doing some massage while you're running at the same time. But generally, with this far to go, it would be very difficult for her to. And with every stride now, you can see her losing a little bit of contact, and so you lose that synergy, that energy that comes from the pack, and you're running on your own.
That makes sense. Stay with us, everybody. A lot more racing to see when we come back with more of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. Welcome back to the 41st running of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. We've seen 2 winners already. Manuel Achar, women's wheelchair. Daniel Romanchuk, men's wheelchair. So exciting. But right now, Zoraida Sambelin's got the women's winner with her. Zoraida.
Oh my gosh. So we are here with Manuel Achar. Not only did you win, but we were waiting and waiting and waiting to see who was going to come in second place. Here you have taken that second place finish 4 times, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you. Yeah, I feel really happy because I almost felt like this race is under a spell. It actually was the course that I thought would be the most possible to win first, and now it was the last one, so I'm really happy right now.
And so how was the course? Because it's been raining. We were worried about how slick it would be. How did it feel to you?
First half was really fast. It was almost dry, so I think I felt really good, and then it started being wet again, and then that's the worst when it starts dry and then it suddenly it is wet again. So I really lost my grip the last 4 miles, and I really had a hard time to really keep a pace. And yeah, I didn't know how far away I was, so it was terrible. But now I'm really happy.
Well, you set a world record in Berlin, and congratulations on that. How does this feel in comparison? Because this is one that you've gone after quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I just need some time to really, yeah, exactly. And it's been an amazing year so far. I had a really great last year, so I just try to enjoy it every single time. Yeah, I'm just really happy.
Well, I told you that I think it's unfair that after you've had to endure that grueling course that you have to come here and talk to us, but clearly you look like everything is fine.
I'm glad I look like it, but I definitely don't feel like it, but yeah.
All right, Manuel Achar, congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
All right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Zoraida. She's got a great smile on her face. She's done this, you're right, she's been second place so many times to Tatiana, so finally she is the bride. Congratulations to Manuel Achar.
Look at this in the men's field.
Well, the splits they've been putting in have been absolutely astonishing, Siafa. I mean, they've run mile 17 in 4:44, mile 18 4:39, mile 19, wait for it, 4:29. Wow. And it's Kemoy who is pushing. He's been doing the aggressive running, the 34-year-old Kenyan, only running his 3rd marathon, but he's been really testing these guys, and we're down to 7.
Wow, now checking with Todd Williams, who's right there in front of him. Todd, what's it looking like from your perspective?
Tim, you hit it right on the head. The last 4 miles from miles 17 to 21, 18:34 for those miles. So they really picked it up. After the halfway point, they let the rabbits go, but now the race has started. Rupp looks really good and comfortable. You know, Mo's been looking around and almost like he was staring down Rupp for a while, and then now they're at it. But again, 18:34 from miles 17 to 21. Kip Kemoy's been in control, and he looks really relaxed running from the front. But if you have 2 guys that have run sub 27, and with the speed that Mo and Galen has, it's going to be an interesting last 3 or 4 miles, and it's going to be a fast time. Right now, the projected time is sub 206, about 205.43.
Well, it looks like the racing has really begun here. Is there anybody who's just barely holding on? It looks like all 6 of those guys are really kind of covering this move.
Yeah, I mean, here we go again. It's like a track race. You know, you get to 20 miles and you have that last 6.2, and then you got to start looking at the guys that have that experience with the kicks and how they can really utilize their speed over the last 5K. But Mo looks really comfortable. He stayed off the pace. So there was a couple surges right after 17, and he was gapped by about 15-20 yards, but he never looked like he was panicking. Then he just closed the gap, and now he's turning this thing into a track race. And I think you and I both know I wouldn't want Mo on my tail with a 5K to go.
No.
Definitely not.
Wow, we want to check
But,
in with him. We understand
we're also looking at Jerimo. I mean, 204. I mean, he ran in January. He ran 204. So a lot of guys with huge potential to run fast. But again, they have to make a move here sooner than later because they do not want Rupp and Mo with coming down that straight.
Kip Kemoy is just pushing so hard. I'm wondering if he's going a little too hard. I mean, a 4:29, that's out of the park, you know, and he is stretching them. But Mo looking very, very relaxed, looking the best of them for my money. Kip Kemoy, do you think he's showing some inexperience here, Todd?
Well, you know what I think? I think, you know, like we did back in the day, right? You know who you're racing against. You know what you have to do. And if he's going to try to win this race, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. There's no way he wants to wait to the last couple miles. So he's probably just trying to get a gap and continue pressing on at sub 440 pace.
So you think this surge is due to his respect of Mo Farah and his great finishing ability?
All right, let's check in with the women now. We're down to two leaders here. Carrie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. There was a big push at mile 18. They dropped down to 5:03. They were consistent right in the 5:20s all those miles. The male pace setters took a step away, and all of a sudden, Bridget Kosgei is in the lead. She was second here last year. This is sort of about the time when she and Turnus Dababa last year took off and started to press the pace as well. But Dereje still looking very smooth, but not covering the move quite as closely as you would think she would want to.
Yeah, it looks like there's a gap opening up there, Carrie. Do you think Dereje is in trouble? Is this a knockout blow by Bridget?
I'm not. I think Bridget is just really going for it. I think Dereje is trying to stay calm. She's running fine, but I think that Kosgei really is. She's kind of out for it right now. She's looking over her shoulder. She's checking to see if she's coming with. And I tell you what, in the last, 600 meters, she's put this gap on.
So it looks like she's taking it.
She would become the 6th woman to win the marathon a year after finishing runner-up if Bridget holds on.
Well, there's no doubt there's a learning curve that takes place. She was here last year. She saw what she could do. She ran a good time, 2:20.22. And this is definitely the move of the race right here as she continues with every stride to stretch things out over Dereje. And at this point in time, Rosa just wants to kind of regather herself. You go through rough spots in the marathon, especially late in the race. And if Dereje can just kind of regather and get back on a pace that works for her, then maybe Bridget will go through a rough spot in the future, but she looks very, very strong here.
Doesn't she?
She does.
We know she's very tough, Bridget Kosgei. You know, second here last year, she's got to be coming back here with real confidence. And of course, we know that recent form, second to Vivian Chariot, the London champion in the Great North Run just a month ago, in 67 minutes, gave a good form. So your confidence is strong. You know, your training is going well. You're a very tough person to beat.
All right, Carrie, you've got an observation from the field there. What are you seeing?
I do one thing that we need to keep our eye on. You know, Kosgei is making this push, but Dereje really has somebody right there. She still has a male right there with her. That could be the deciding factor that can keep her in this race. Even though Kosgei is making this move, she has nobody with her. Dereje, she has somebody with her, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Very controversial situation. You know, when the leader is like this on their own, and you've got an athlete behind, 100 meters behind, who's got a male with them, who they're getting, whether it's direct or indirect or intentional assistance from, they are being dragged along to some degree to keep in touch with the leader. The leader is having to do all the work on their own, and you know, people will discuss this if the result changes.
By that
we're looking at right now.
By that same token, Kosgei could come up on a man who was running at the same pace and kind of get the same effect. But yeah, she's definitely having to work harder than Dereje right now.
Tatiana McFadden just finishing. I mean, several minutes behind our winner. We're going to have to find out.
Well, I mean, like 15 minutes behind. That's unbelievable. So Tatiana's obviously had big problems.
And I'm wondering if she had equipment failure. Sometimes that happens as well.
Which also happened in Berlin to her, of course.
Can we talk a little bit more about this being controversial, Tim?
Yeah, explain that to
You made it sound like this is a tactic that is not viewed as
the thing is
fair, maybe?
If the guy that's helping the athlete in second place is not an official pacer, he just happens to be a male who is in the race, then okay. But if he's a pacemaker for a specific athlete and in second place, who's assisting her assisting her stay within reach of the lead.
Oh, you're saying if she knows him.
If she knows him, then
Yes.
I'd say it's a very unfair situation.
All right, stay with us. It's getting exciting, as it has been already. It's been a great race. We'll be right back. And we're back with the 41st running of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. Some interesting developments, guys. We see Galen Rupp has fallen back.
Yeah, we went from 6 runners to 5. Galen went up while we were at commercial message, drifted off the back. He is now back probably 50, 60 meters or more. And the pack is down to Mo, the 5, with Mo Farah being the guy in the lead, pushing the pace.
Yeah, Mo just looking very, very comfortable. I'm astonished at how relaxed he looks, despite that attack from Kip Kemoe, who put in 2 or 3 miles, very, very hard racing from the front. Mo looking strong, gone to the front, obviously full of confidence, and he has that long loping stride, which people used to criticize on the track as being not very economical because his center of gravity would be bouncing up and down. But he just looks to me like he's in a 5K on the track, a slow 5K.
Yeah, and as they made that turn, you could see that Galen's now probably 100 meters plus back. Their last 3 miles have been 4:42, 4:42, 4:42, so consistent but fast, and they're just cranking down the intensity. Surprised a little bit to see Suguro Osako still in there. They are on 2:05.40 pace, and if he can run 2:06.11, he will make $880,000 bonus, $100 million yen bonus if he can keep that pace. I'm sure he's ecstatic to be in the top 5 right now.
Just my friends back in the UK, that's 700,000 of our British pounds. It's got a lovely ring to it. I think it's called a house.
It sounds pretty good in anybody's
It's called an incentive, a big-time incentive for him right there. But Sir Mo right there, Mo Farah, looks so comfortable at this point in time. He's been called the greatest of all times. He's trying to prove that that applies also in the marathon.
Do either Mosanek Garamiu or Jeffrey Carew have that kind of kick that could stay with?
They're good track racers, but not that sort of speed that Mo can handle. However, you hear experts on marathons all the time talking about how a sprint at the end of a marathon is different to a sprint in a track race. You know, you can bring it down to a real strength factor. My only reservation here is that Mo just looks so relaxed. I mean, I don't want to put a laurel wreath on his head yet, but he looks absolutely supreme.
And as we say that, Jeffrey Kirui is now drifting off the back, so it's going from 5 to 4, and this is what we see happen over the last 2-3 miles in the marathon. It's a race of and a battle of attrition, and it's now down to 4.
You know, I had a chat with Mo and his coach last night, and I said, you know, what did you learn from London? Because in London it was a hot day, and Eliud Kipchoge, the greatest marathon runner ever, now the world record holder, pushed away in the second half, and Mo looked like he lacked strength, a little bit of strength. And Gary said, yep, we've increased our long runs. That's the one major change we've made. The long runs have become a little bit longer, a little bit tougher for Mo to get that strength factor right. So they're learning every time. We've got to remember, this is Mo Farah's 3rd marathon. You know, he's probably the greenest of all these guys when it comes to experience.
I love how his bib says Sir Mo. You were wondering if it would, and it does.
Hey, his wife ran the Great North Half Marathon a month ago. She had Lady Farah on her name.
Why not? All right, let's check in with Kaylee Dion. We will get right back to these elites because we don't want to miss any action, but we want to check in with Kaylee Dion in the cheer section. Hi, Kaylee.
We are in Greektown, and everybody is starting to show up now with their rain gear. We need it. This is such a landmark for the Bank of America Chicago Marathon because it's at mile 17. It's a critical point for runners, and they can feel the energy and hear their family and friends cheering for them so loud. And the Merrill Lynch bull bells, we got to ring those. And I'm so excited to have Sharon Oberlander with me today, the Merrill Lynch Managing Director and Wealth Management Advisor. She's here, and it's a big year for you.
Yes, it is. It's a big year because this is the 41st Bank of America Chicago Marathon, and it is my 41st year with Merrill Lynch.
That is awesome. What a huge year. And you're a Chicago resident, so what does it feel like to be out and participating in the Merrill Lynch Cheer Zone that's such a great support for runners?
The Merrill Lynch Cheer Zone is a perfect place to feel the excitement of race day. And being in the cheer zone, as the runners come by, you can show your support and you can feel the energy and anticipation that they bring to the race.
And And the Bank of America Chicago Marathon is such a huge thing for the city of Chicago. We have another wave of runners coming in behind us. What does it bring to the city?
We're very excited about the impact that the Bank of America Chicago Marathon brings to the city of Chicago. In 2017, the marathon generated over $338 million of economic benefit to the city of Chicago, including 2,200 plus jobs.
And you're out here as well to cheer people on. We have to wrap this up, so I want to make sure that you get your shout out.
Yes, I want to cheer on David, Katie, all my colleagues at Merrill Lynch, and all my colleagues at Bank of America. Have an awesome finish.
Thank you so much, Sharon, and I love all the crowd that's fighting this rain out here today. Everyone's still so excited, and we're having a great time here in Greektown, which is a historic part of the city as well. So we're going to continue to cheer on the runners behind us. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Kaylee Dion. And we're back with a look at the elite race. Sir Mo just looked behind him, right over his shoulder. He's got Mo Garamou. He's right in it.
Garamou is the fastest man in the field. You know, the guy in second place to the right of picture there behind Mo Farah. Mo has gradually turned the screw this last few minutes, and he's eased away from Kip Kemoy in the green, who did so much of the attacking about 20 minutes ago. And Suguru Osako, who's having an incredible run. He might well be heading for that 100 million yen, but I think Garamou is still a danger, although he had a little glance over his shoulder.
You know, but I'm impressed by Garamou because he has not once taken that turn in the lead the entire race. So much of marathoning is the guy you don't talk about for long periods of time. We haven't really talked about him until now. So he is, in fact, is covering the move of Mo Farah and covering it very nicely. It's going to come down to who feels the best over the last mile, because they are into the last 2 miles of this race right now.
And he's the fastest in the field. I mean, 2:04 was the last.
And he's coming off running a very fast half marathon in Buenos Aires in August. So I think he's got to be.
Mo.
Yeah. So both of them coming off fast half marathons. I think they got to be feeling confident.
Confident, yeah.
Yes.
It's almost an optical illusion, though. You get the impression that they've accelerated and pushed away from the other guys. In actual fact, each of the last 4 miles has been 4:42 exactly. I mean, it's metronomic running, but it's really quick. Yeah, it just takes its toll. And of course, Ed knows this. Marathon is a patience game. Just got to keep pumping away and make it hurt. You know you're hurting them, and wait for them to drop back. And you know, Mo's done his fair share at the front these last couple of miles, and it's taking its toll on the others.
Garamou's been the only one who can match that consistent pace, though, and they're getting down to the point now where the leg speed is going to become a premium as they make the last mile, as they run this last mile.
Garamou actually has reasonable track pedigrees. A 13:17 5,000. Guys run 27:18 for 10,000 meters. The only problem for him is that Mo Farah is a lot quicker than that. So he's world class. Mo Farah is super world class.
He's also, I don't know if this matters that much, but taller, longer legs. Big stride.
It helps, but I mean, just the confidence you have from that speed. So Garamou here is kind of staring into the abyss. What does he do? Does he push on here and try and take the sting out of Mo Farah's legs, or does he hope he can outkick the man who has outkicked everybody for the last 10 years all over the world?
Well, and Mo is so cool, calm, and collected. He went and took a water bottle, a fluid bottle right there. A lot of times, this late in the race, you won't bother with that because you're focused about finishing the thing. But so I think this is the calm before the storm. I think Mo is just trying to measure things at this point in time and get the measure of Garamou.
He looks like if you could turn a switch and he would just bolt.
He's just it's like he's waiting.
He does look like.
Whereas Garamou has that brow furrowed, and he is just trying to stay with him every stride.
Mo's still very composed, isn't he? You know, he's taking that drink on board. He's just sipping away at it at the front there like it's a Sunday morning training run. You know, when Mo won the world title in 2015 in Beijing, China, Garamou was in the race and finished in 11th place. And I wonder if that is playing on the mind of the Ethiopian there.
And they're in the last mile. We just saw him run past the 25-mile mark.
Yes, we did.
And Mo looking over like, you're still here? You're still here?
He does look a lot more relaxed, but he does keep checking.
They're on schedule for around 2:05:18, so that would be a new European record for Mo. That is one box ticked for him today. But is he going to win the race?
That's the optimal question, right?
$64,000 question.
4:34 for the last mile, so that is the fastest mile of the race for sure. So they are definitely rolling along here. They know that
they've left the other men if you look in the distance.
Yeah, most certainly. They're getting close to only 800 meters to go, and they're just continuing to wind that pace, continuing to wind. Excuse me, a 3/4 mile or so. They're just winding this pace right up.
That's the quickest mile of the race, apart from mile 19, which was a 4:29. So yeah, Mo cranking it up. The thing is, he's got such a long raking stride. He looks relaxed when he's shifting at pace. You know, so it's again, it's one of those optical illusions. Mo Farah looks very relaxed, but they are really motoring.
Oh, Garamo making.
He's hanging with him. You wonder.
Yeah, Garamo.
But you still.
Yeah, refuses to get broken at this point in time. You're all in. All the chips are in at this point in time. You're just trying to match that stride. Mo now looking around a little bit. I think Mo's a little surprised that he hasn't been able to gap him.
Well, I think you're right. I think Mo is just wanting to turn the screw a little bit. A couple of clicks up. See if the guy can live with it.
Yeah, okay.
Garamo looking really strong. I mean, all credit to the Ethiopian. You know, his shoulders are pretty hunched. He's a lot tighter. I think he's working harder than Mo. But that's not to say he hasn't got a great sprint in those legs yet.
And that's the crazy thing, because how many times have we seen the great Ethiopians have a little better kick than someone, you know, as they're going against other people. So this is going to be interesting.
And you know, Chicago's only ever been won by one Ethiopian. That was Segai Kebede back in 2012. So 6 years since the one solitary win by an Ethiopian in Chicago. And Garamo has run 4 times under 60 minutes for the half marathon, so he has plenty of speed, endurance. But the way that Mo is sort of controlling this, you think it's not going to come down to speed, endurance. It's going to come down to raw speed. When they take that last turn, about 300, 350 yards to go. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's what he's thinking right now. He's thinking, I can run faster than this guy on the track. I know that. This is now going to be a track race. We're just going to make that final turn. It'll be like a final straightaway, and I'm going to blow him away with my speed. Yet, at the end of a marathon, sometimes your finishing speed is not the same as at the end of a track race because of the fatigue factor.
You have to give credit to the team behind these athletes. You know, Mo Farah, for example, has moved from Portland back to London. He lives in West London and not far from Heathrow Airport. He's changed coaches. He's with Gary Locke, the husband of Paula Radcliffe, the world record holder on the women's side. And he and Gary have been out they've been out in training so hard here in the States. And they've got it right. I mean, you know, so far they've got it right. And if he gets beaten, it doesn't mean they've got it wrong. They went straight back after that half marathon a month ago and put in the hardest week of his preparation. He said that he had a half marathon in his legs, a 59-minute half marathon, and still put in a 120, 130-mile week. So the capacity for hard work these guys have is unbelievable, but it's all so carefully calculated. It's not just brute force.
2 things come to my mind. Number one, you've got 2 guys who you could say first name their shortened version is Mo. So which Mo is going to win? Which I think is interesting. We spent.
I've already called him Mo Garamo. I'm sorry.
We spent so much time talking about Mo Farah and Galen Rupp. It'd be amazing if another Mo won. But beyond that, if Mo does win, Farah does win, people are going to see what kind of personality this guy has.
Now Mo.
This is a big.
Here we go.
And you see Mo in that. I don't think he has anything left. He has nothing left.
Mo's been checking over his shoulder for the last few minutes. He keeps glancing over his shoulder, looking at the body language of Garamo.
He's smiling.
He's got it right.
This is the knockout punch right here.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
He's now on Roosevelt.
And look at that speed. Look at that stride.
It's almost like he said, okay, here we go.
Right.
Your heart has to go out to Garamo because he is a world-class racer. He was the 2nd fastest in the world this year. He's still going to be that because he ran 2:04 dead, and that time is just clicked by. But he just hasn't got the speed and endurance to go with this surge from Mo Farah, who has looked fresh through this second half.
Look at that stride. You can see he's turning it on.
And that European record is beckoning for Farah. He's determined to get that one.
And this is uphill, so we're not even... he hasn't come down yet.
Yeah, it's a gentle uphill, this, but Mo's leaning into it. And look how quickly he's opened up that gap.
He's expanding that lead with every stride at this point in time. He's looked behind him. He sees he's in the lead. He knows he's got this thing in the bag, and now he can enjoy
that record.
He can enjoy this last 400 meters as he's getting ready to make that final turn.
And it is, let's not forget, it's Mo's first victory in the marathon. This is kind of the icing on the cake for Mo as a kosher marathon racer now. Yeah, this is he's going to run around 2:05, and he's celebrating. He's absolutely able to celebrate this. Ed, totally dominant performance. The next challenge for Mo Farah is Eliud Kipchoge, Tokyo 2020.
Very exciting, amazing, waving his hands to the crowd. He's going to have a new personal best here.
2:05 has just clicked by, but this is Mo Farah in supreme form, dominant here against a strong field in the Bank of America Chicago Marathon of 2018. Mo Farah is champion in spectacular style. 2:05.12 unaffected.